You're listening to Out of the Blue, starring Blue Mitchell, Maria,
Hey, it's your girl Maria,
and your boy Danny Green. Big Green! Out of the blue, y'all. Where anything might come out of our mouths. Out of the blue.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and you have just stepped into Out of the Blue. We are ready to serve you and give you all the information that the world tries to hold back from you. I'm with my co-parts, Maria.
Hey, Blue.
Big Dave.
What's going on, people?
And D Green is on sabbatical. He is on vacation in the islands of Watts.
Yeah.
So he'll be back soon, and we'll holler at him then. What's so incredible about today is we will have a wonderful interview with Richard Brooks, the actor, the original member of Law and Order, who set the standard of how things was going to be played out for the rest of the time that is on. And it's been on since 1953. I'm joking. We started off in 2009. So, you know, how's y'all week? How's y'all week been going?
Hey, man, the weather out here is wonderful, so it's kind of hard not to, break a few laws as far as remaining shelter in place, all that kind of stuff. But
the weather's out there wanting to break through laws. What you've been surfing, Dave?
Oh yeah, I go surfing all the time.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
I mean, you look like a beachcomber. I mean, the last show.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying?
What you been doing, Maria?
Working.
You had to think about
Enjoying the
working?
sun, and I've been sitting outside. That's about it.
Working, and I've been sitting outside.
She said, sitting outside.
Yeah, I like being in the sun.
I can tell you look like you got some color.
No, I don't.
Okay, well, you look like you wiped it on there, Jeez. The COVID is still doing its thing. Can you imagine, like, we in LA and they first said stay at home until July, no certain day, just July.
Yeah, just July.
Now it's there is not even a month. It's the end of the year. Now they're staying home. Like, now procedure is every 6 months. They're saying every 6 weeks they're gonna open up more and more and more. But I mean, like, how is 6 weeks is what, a month and 2 weeks? When in some months it's only 1 month and a week. But they basically telling us the summer's over.
Fun.
I mean, we might as well start Christmas shopping.
No. No. I wouldn't be surprised if I start seeing people put up Christmas stuff, though.
So you think we're going to go right to Christmas?
Well, I think LA is scared of, I think LA is based in theirs on, they're always trying to be proactive. So I think they're based in theirs on the flu season. And so they're going to tiptoe. I think it's better to, reel in or reel in slowly than to try to yank it and break the line. So if they go slowly every 6 weeks to open up, by that time we'll be in the flu season and we'll see how bad that piggybacks on this COVID-19.
Yeah, they
if
want
it
to see if
doesn't
these two
badly,
going to join forces or not.
Then they're gonna jump. But the only cold part about it is everywhere else is gonna jump ship by then. And
You know
there's
what
no
I find interesting is I think, especially not being from California, I think they've done a good job so far, like kind of making
right.
some decisions on, when it comes to COVID-19 over the other states. Weren't we the first ones to do a total shutdown?
Yeah, we were the first ones to go hard in the paint. But what's going to prove to be true is that kind of understanding where your prevention was incredible because you were first on the dance floor. But then after a while, like for real, man, like, come on, do you really got to search me that hard? Like the security on this might end up being too tough. Shout out to Rehearsal.
The security as far as keeping us on lockdown.
All right. So what I'm saying is this all might be wonderful and beautiful, and it only will show if LA's went too far. Like right now, it's not showing LA went too far because of the pandemic has been extremely overboard. Like it's been coming at and killing and affecting people left and right. So LA seems like the quote unquote superheroes of the United States. But if it calms down, disappears, everything starts going to normal, and LA still shut down, then they're gonna look like they over.
No. I think they'll adjust, but I think they're being smart and they're saying, listen, while some of the other states are jumping ahead and they want to open up and they're under the pressure of these crazy citizens, I think it's a good thing.
How do you adjust if you're scared?
Well, I don't think they're scared. I think they're just trying to see how things happen as they inch things along. I think they're trying to see if, in fact, numbers are going to go down or if we're going to see a spike.
So do you think LA is working from fear, or are they working from respect? Are they, or is their choices of the choices that they're making, is that based on they respect the COVID-19, or are they working from the fear of it? Because if you're working from the fear of it, the retaliate or to turn back, it's going to be even harder.
I don't think it's the fear. I think it's the fact. I think they're paying attention to the facts and they realize the severity of it. And no, I don't think it's fear.
I think it goes hand in hand.
I'm not mad at it, huh?
I think it goes hand in hand. I think one is directly related to the other because the fear is we still not sure how this thing moves.
Oh,
So
true.
by not knowing what your enemy is capable of, you have to respect your enemy. So they both run hand in hand as far as I'm concerned.
Season canceled.
First time in 98 years. Boy, you talking about a lot of depressed people out there.
98 years. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's kind of sad. That's real sad because that's a lot of people's outing, especially couples. That's
ain't even an outing. That's a lot of people's revenue.
That's a lot of jobs.
All the employees,
that too.
All the employees.
That too. That is a lot of people's revenue.
Nuts.
Well, so do you think? I don't know. I'm okay with it. I mean, I think it sucks, but I'm okay. Here's the thing: you have people now who don't even want to respect the fact of wearing a mask when they go out in public. So I feel like the more we open shit up, the more people are going to be like, fuck it and do what they want to do. We're just going to have more of an issue of people not respecting the fact of you need to be respectful and try to protect each other from getting sick and spreading the virus.
True.
So I'm only okay with us staying closed for the sake of so many people are not respecting the right boundaries, like not wearing a mask when they're out, like wearing it around your neck when you're in the middle of the store. Like, how's that helping me? It's not.
Okay, I get you in that. But how does it help? And I'm trying to figure it out. How does it help you when you see people in their car and they have their mask on their face and it's just them?
Well, we talked about this. I think when we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, I was like, yeah, that's kind of silly. It's asinine, right? But when you're moving and just not thinking, I realized I was getting out of the car and forgetting to put it on. So I was like, okay. So I don't have it fully on my face in the car, but I'll like hang it on my ear because I was in the middle of the store. I don't think I realized it until I was in the checkout. And I was like, oh shit, I know people are staring at me like, why don't she have a mask on? But I was like, okay, well now I've already been in the store. I'm not going to get out of checkout to go get the mask out the car. But from that point, I was like, oh, okay, now I think I get the point why people keep it on in the car.
I mean, that's like do you wear rubber to bed?
What?
I love how the severity has gone from you had to have an N95 at the beginning to where they're just like, hey, you know what, just tie something around your face and just go on about your business, you know, just
Because they didn't have enough N95.
You can't get it, like.
yeah, but again, I mean, is that clearly wasn't the end all be all, because I mean we've settled for much less. You know, I've seen people with holes in some college ruled paper and just slap it around their ears and go on about their business.
Look, I've seen somebody teach, and when I saw it, I thought it was ingenious. How to take a T-shirt and make you a mask. Now, you look like the Taliban, but it definitely works. Like it covers all this, and it covers just over your eyebrows, so all you see is the eyes. Like you almost look like you have on a hijab.
I think the one I wear makes me look a little gangster too. Shit, I'm like, that's a whole nother level too. So without you wearing the
But yours is metal, right?
No, I have a black claw. It's a black claw. Are you being funny? It's a black claw. And then I'm thinking, so I'm probably moving forward, but
throw her in the tower.
So now the next thing is going to be somebody thinks, you know, you are part of a gang or something. Based on
I will say this.
Your face cut.
I will say this. It's probably scary for bank tellers to watch everybody in line
with a mask on,
be masked up, be like,
okay, yeah, but my chances just increased exponentially.
Yeah, like you walk in. That's why a lot of bank robbers would walk in, have it down here, walk in, do what they got to do, and then keep their head away from the camera. And then when it was time to get out, they pop it up and then they go, everybody get out. I know it sounds like I done that before, but I haven't.
I don't know, dog. You had to step to step.
You know,
you may do a YouTube tutorial on that shit.
But now people could just walk in and everybody got a mask on. They say, well, you know what he look like? It's like everybody else in line. So it probably scares, definitely scare late night cashiers at gas stations.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you we about to go back to, it ain't gonna be too long, but I bet you we about to go back to hardcore. You can't go in the store after 6. You have to buy all your stuff at the outside register.
Really?
And then when robbery was getting real tough, you couldn't go into the AM/PM or into any of the gas mini marts. You after like 6 o'clock, you had to come through the outside one, and whatever you want, he would go get it. Yeah, give me that Sprite in the corner. No, not that Sprite. The one with the red one. Or give me the chip, yeah. And then he bring it, and then he put it in the bottom drawer and push it out because he was afraid of you being inside the store. And with all these masks, I guarantee you, as soon as somebody get robbed like that, we going back to 6 o'clock. You can't go inside. They finally let up on that, and I don't even know why. COVID is so cold that you could be like talking to a broad, and she could be like, I think I need to tell you something. What's up? Well, I have HIV. Oh shit, girl! I thought you had COVID. I thought you had COVID. We good. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
you know we
just
cool.
like at that party in Pasadena. They said that lady was in there joking. She started coughing and whatnot. She said, "Yeah, I think I may have the virus." Hee hee ha ha. end up infecting like what, maybe 7 to 12 people in the damn party.
Oh, she really had it.
Yeah, the one out in Pasadena, she was joking.
Oh, so, but they, I bet you
think I
they
might
could
have.
sue her.
I think I might have coronavirus. Ha ha he. End up actually getting folks infected, at least 7, but up to
Look.
maybe 5 more that they'd had to trace down.
One of my boys, who actually was the art director on some of the famous albums of Boyz II Men, Stevie Wonder, mine, Johnny Gill, he caught it and he thought he was out of here. He thought he was out of here and made it through. I mean, he made it through and he just posted on his page, I made it. You know what I'm saying? But he thought he was on a ventilator for 2 to 3 weeks. He thought he was out of here. You know, what do you do with, so businesses, what do you do with a person? So that means that businesses need to turn up their security or add more security at their doors, make doors of interest limited, exits limited, so that they can say you cannot come in. Shit, you can't get on the plane with a pocket knife. So they need somebody at the door saying, "Wear your mask." Where your mask at? Well, if your mask in the car, then go to the car.
I mean, if there's gonna be a confrontation, it's gonna be a confrontation, no matter how.
But the confrontation stops.
But the confrontation will stop at the door, right?
At the door.
But I'm just saying, if it's gonna be a confrontation, it's gonna be a confrontation, whether it's inside
but it's
or
even
outside.
worse. Look, it's an even worse confrontation when you've been shopping and then got your whole basket full.
Well, and then by that point,
and you get to the counter.
You've already put other people at risk.
Right, but you get to the counter and then they tell you they cannot let you buy your stuff. That's when you heat it. But if you at the door,
it's a different deterrent when someone's at the door versus you knowing you.
Yeah, it's a way, and you can deal with that.
Once you let them in, it's a wrap. But
it's a wrap.
Yeah, but you have to let them. You have to let them know at the door in order to prevent any bullshit.
That's what I'm saying. So what more?
Now here's the thing. If they did get inside, the worst thing you could do is now stop them from the purchase. The best thing you could do is hurry up, expedite that purchase, and get them the hell out of the store.
No, I don't think that's the worst thing. Why?
I wouldn't stop them from buying the stuff.
Well,
I don't agree. Why? I feel like they shouldn't be allowed in the store.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
I believe that businesses should pay the extra money to have security, not just security. Have employees. You work there. Hey, excuse me. Excuse me. You need to have your mask on. It's the dude behind the fish counter, the dude behind the vegetable counter, the dude stacking the sodas up. Excuse me. I'm sorry, ma'am. You need to put on your mask. It's just company policy.
Somebody.
I mean, no, everybody in there should look. If everybody telling you that, then it's got to be the truth. See, the reason why I think businesses should go out their way to do that is because I don't think that me as a patron need to tell somebody, yo, where your mask at? Who are you?
That ain't none of your business.
like I don't
agree,
think
but
it's
my. There will be people who will do that.
There's gonna be people like that, but they won't be people like that. Is if protocol is get it together. Excuse me, how you doing, ma'am? You have your mask? It's in the car. Go get it.
Okay.
You know how life is, because we're not out there spending a lot of money. I'm saving money, but then something pop up. $2,000. I gotta fix my piping, sewage piping. You know, that out of nowhere. I mean, something just pop up. Money was meant to move, and if you don't move it, it's gonna find a place to go. My daddy used to say, a bad woman is like money. Everybody gonna have his hands on. Well, I know that wasn't too deep for you. That made sense. A bad woman is like money. Everybody gonna have their hands on. You know what I'm saying? That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it. When you get $1 in your hand or $5 or $10, how many times where has that money been? My auntie used to write on there, praise God on all her money. I don't care what she got, she put praise God on it. And it came back to her a few times. And even me, I've been places and they give me change and it be my auntie's money. Praise God. And I wonder, what was the journey of this money?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Maybe, you know what it is? It's the bad woman part. So I'm gonna say a bad man, a terrible man, a homonger man.
It's too late, dog. It's too late. It's already out in the universe.
It's just as bad as money. Everybody gonna have their hands on.
It's gone.
This your boy Blue Mitchell, and I'm here with Maria, and this is another Out of the Blue exclusive interview with Richard Brooks.
You know, I wanted to touch bases, man. I know you've been I mean, you're constantly working. I mean, like you are constantly working.
That's right, man.
How do you keep your flow going? Like, and how are you auditioning now with the way we rolling? Are you Zoom auditioning?
No, I haven't done any Zoom, man. I don't know. I guess people are doing that, you know. I know they got a lot of these competitions going on. My daughters are doing a lot of those, like, you know, monologue slams and
right.
quarantine monologue stuff, all that stuff. So that's kind of cool. But no, I mean, for me, it was crazy. I was shooting a pilot when all this stuff broke, you know. So
oh wow.
I was actually we were like second day of filming.
Did y'all have to stop?
Yeah, we had to stop. Yeah, we were in New York, New Jersey, and they just flew us right back. And and it's been on lockdown ever since. So.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
I mean, it will pick back up and start shooting again, right?
Well, this is, you know, we hope so. Yeah, you hope so. You know, right now, nobody knows how anything's gonna do. You know, so so it's just a limbo. It's just waiting. Yeah, it's just waiting. So I haven't really been able to audition for a lot of stuff because I haven't, you know, because I'm tied up. I'm already under contract. You know, so I'm already.
So you can't even. You gotta wait. You gotta basically wait.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not really available. You know, I mean, my schedule I'll be right back shooting that probably as soon as this thing let up. You know, as soon as we can. So.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Like you remember? I don't know if you knew, American Gangster.
Yeah.
With Denzel.
Yeah.
They had set him to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Something happened, and couldn't shoot. Now they had to send him $25 million.
Damn.
And something happened and they couldn't shoot. He flew,
right.
Boom, stuff was in, and then it was like, oh man, we're gonna have to push this off.
Yeah.
They pushed it off. He had already held off other things. He had other things to do. So he was like, well, his agent was like, if you want me to come back now, it's gonna be another $25 million. So he got paid on the smooth tip, $50 million to do American Gangster.
Wow, that's gangster right there. Yeah.
Now that is gangster. That's gangster right there. Wow. Like he got paid twice to do a role who was only supposed to get $25 million in the first place.
Yeah, well, you know, yeah. Denzel's been the man for a long time, man.
Yeah, but you know, it's this COVID thing. You know, in the COVID, you can say COVID and don't have to pay rent, lights, gas.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, it's crazy. This. You know, we ain't never lived through nothing like this, so.
We have never lived through nothing like this.
How do you feel moving forward? I think that's actually a good point that you're working on your pilot. So let's say in the next few months they start back up. How do you feel, you know, with how the things should be on set? Are you uncomfortable with the normal day to day? And I don't know what it's like to be on set necessarily as an actor.
Oh.
Are there certain expectations that you're looking for them to make changes for your safety?
Well, you know, I mean, I don't know. I haven't really given that much thought to it. I mean, I've been reading a lot of some of the discussions that are going on about what may happen or how they may have to approach it or how, you know, everything could change, you know, everything, the whole way we do everything. But from physicals, the way we're, you know, insured, the way the crew is, if they're protected, wearing masks and things like that. I just think that as actors, we're more like the athletes, be more like NBA or whatever. I mean, we have to be out there playing, and we can't necessarily be concerned with things outside of what's going on in the scene, or, you know, we can't wear masks, obviously, and stuff like that, you know. So I guess if the virus is still a big thing, there will be some risk to it, you know, involved. But also, I mean, it's just been a weird time. You know, it's hard for me to take it as serious as it is, but then you have to take it. You have to really take it serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was, like I said, again, I was really, you know, I had this was even more unique for me because I was literally, you know, dealing with this driving to set in the van with the cast, with crew, you know.
Oh,
and
okay. So
productions in New
you
York
had every chance to be infected if somebody was infected.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Exactly. You know what I mean? So, and we were right in New York, pretty much in New Jersey, you know,
Right.
Really right in where it's really hitting really hard. And I didn't really see that around the set. I didn't really feel that from any of the crew or any of the cast, except for the fact that we were concerned, you know, that there was a growing concern throughout the day while we were filming. So when it finally came to a point where we had to leave, then, you know, then it was just like, get out of New York quickly before they lock it down. Our main thing was like, we get home before we can't get back home.
Yeah,
you know
that is true. Yeah.
So I think, you know, with filming and things like that, there's so much logistics that are involved with it, and that I guess it would just be another wrinkle, another thing to deal with, I guess, when we get back. But right now I can't go into it feeling like, oh man, I'm afraid to go on set, or wondering if I'm gonna catch something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I think especially when we've been off so long, it's just like, okay, well, isn't that the point? Isn't the point that we starting to figure out how we're gonna deal with this? You know, if not, what are we doing? Why are we, you know? So
how are you occupying your time? Are you reading scripts? Are you are you writing? Because I mean, you are a writer.
Right. Yeah. Well, I am writing. I mean, I have to be honest, and I'm definitely probably, like a lot of people, not as productive as I think I should be with all this time.
Right.
Because it's just thrown me off. You know, it threw me off because I was so into character. I was so into this new show I was doing, Echo, and to stop it and then try to figure out, okay, well, if I write the script, when can I do it? Because I don't know, and how am I gonna do it? You know what I mean? If I have to worry
right.
Crew, there's a love scene. Should I write? You know, so a lot of things are kind of perplexing right now. You know, but
that. You know what? That brings into that's a thought. So because we are in COVID, love scenes, interconnections. You kind of have to pull back from them, right?
Yeah.
Or
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. You know,
that's a trip.
You know, I was talking to a friend of mine who's a writer / showrunner, and he was telling me that he recently, they were going to start filming this spring. They pushed it out to, I think, August or September, and it may get changed again. But they had to go back and rewrite certain scenes that had, you know, he said there were scenes where they had crowds of like maybe 100 people, scale back. And he was just saying there were certain scenes where there was certain direct contact. Now they're going back and they're switching it up. And who knows how much that may change now that things are kind of changing. And maybe with testing, maybe testing will help people feel a little more secure if we can count on the testing and know that we're safe, or that you're safe on set. I don't know. I think it's going to be kind of learn as you go. It feels like it's going to be learn as they go when they open things back up as far as production.
Yeah, it feels like it's going to be rough for a moment. And I think that, you know, we may, you know, if you are scared, if you have fear, it probably won't subside anytime soon, I guess. You know?
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, and so I don't know how the world continues, you know, to go from here, or the workplace in general. I mean, even going to an office building, going to Raw,
you know,
ABFF
is about to announce that they're doing their whole thing in August.
Yeah.
Virtual.
Wow. Wow.
So that means no convention
Yeah.
that you will go to. That I mean, basically, you'll pay to watch all the different movies
Just stream them.
and stream them.
Yeah.
All of the panels, stream it. It just will be I guess, an all day, full week
Yeah.
connection.
I know. And see, even that is complicated for filmmakers. I actually finished a short this year that I've been putting in film festivals. We won some festivals, and it was supposed to air. It was supposed to screen here in New York, in LA, and those festivals got postponed and cut down. You know, and that should have been like last month. You know.
Wow.
So, but then at the same time, if you screen your film online or some kind of way, there's some restrictions with other festivals that want to show it, like Sundance or whatever. You can't have a broadcast, for instance, you know, so they're going to have to find a loophole in broadcasting your shorts or your movie at film festivals to not mess with the rights of it being, you know, union or whatever, because you may have a deal where it's only for festivals, and festivals, you know, are limited viewing, right? If not,
that is true.
So
wow,
it's tricky if it's a union, you know, if it's, you know, like mine was a SAG short, so, you know.
Right.
So there's a lot
so
of.
It's just going to be tricky all the way around. It's going to be a lot of legal maneuvering.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people who are saying, no, you can't, you know, so they might have gotten into the festival and they may have to say, no, you can't screen my movie, actually.
Yeah, because if you screen it, then you have a chance to record it.
Right, exactly.
Wow.
The record has been transmitted, you know what I mean? And it goes into.
Yeah, and then the next thing you know, it's already bootlegged. It's man.
I hadn't thought about that. Wow.
Yeah, it's already transmitted. Like,
yeah,
that's crazy.
And so, you know, what's interesting about that, because there are multiple festivals that are talking about going virtual.
Yep.
So that would be a huge impact across the board.
Yeah. Well, there were a lot, like South by Southwest, I know they did the same thing, and I think there were a lot of people who got in it who didn't actually get to screen their movies because they didn't want, you know.
So that's gonna make a lot of people back out on, or like, especially because at screenings you get to see a lot of big majors just testing the market just to see.
Right.
They might not even step in the game.
Right, exactly. Yeah, those opening night. Yeah. Right.
So when they do it virtual, do you think they'll still show films, or will it just be the panel?
Oh no, they're supposed to show. You're basically the way they're supposed to do it is you pay, and you get access to watch. Yeah, it's like you were there.
Yeah, well, I think unfortunately, or I mean, this is probably maybe not true, but I think the quality of the films that are shown may not be as strong, because those won't be the ones that were union, that were SAG, probably.
That's true.
There'll have to be the really independent movies with, you know, inexperienced people really doing their first movies. You know, I mean, if they're in the festival, they're probably good. Don't get me wrong, but you know what I'm saying. If you have any union actors in it or things like that, it may be a problem. I don't know. You know what I mean? So,
Richard, here's one for you. So you were on Law and Order. You were the beginning. You were the blueprint of why it's gone on this long time. And with that understanding, there was a paycheck every week. There was residuals. However you negotiated your thing, but there was a safety net of your art form being protected. Now in this game, it's basically turned into the Chitlin circuit, where they're paying you for your work. You're shooting it, and you might shoot 10 episodes in 2 weeks. And then that's it. Like, how do you, I mean, how do you like this whole new thing where you have to, back in the day when you saw people working a lot, you knew they were doing their thing. Now, it's a live to paycheck style acting with the way that they're hiring.
Well, I mean, I think it's always been paycheck to paycheck. You know, I mean, from job to job, you know, you're only going to get paid for the job. But I think to your other point, if you could shoot 10 episodes in 2 weeks, if you're still getting paid per episode, then you just made 10 checks in 2 weeks. So you made a lot more money in a lot shorter period of time than what.
But a lot of people are just getting paid for them 2 weeks.
Well, no, I think normally you're getting paid, like, you should get paid per episode. You know, I think most deals are based on the per episode. So if you could shoot 10
Maybe those
episodes,
are bad contracts, Blue.
It's a whole lot of them.
I mean, but, you know,
Okay. So where you would have a deal, say Warner Brothers was putting it out.
yeah,
Your contract was with Warner Brothers. Each individual actors were with Warner Brothers. Now it's directly to a production company. Their deal is to Warner Brothers.
right.
So that means all residuals, all that kind of stuff is going to one person. Warner Brothers is not responsible for taking care of you anymore.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, like, doesn't that, I mean, isn't that what an actor wants to do, is get on something that has some longevity that can keep supplying them even after they stop doing it, and then that way they can have a chance to pick a choice of picking the things that they really want to do and not that they have to?
Well, no, well, for sure. But I think what it sounds like what you're talking about is a union, like basically
Union work and not union work.
right.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So SAG, you know, SAG-AFTRA is the one who's in charge of all our residuals, basically.
Right.
So basically, even if that small production company, if they became a signatory to SAG-AFTRA, then they would be required to pay and report for the, you know,
Right.
you know, forever.
But in a lot of those independent networks like Fuse and
right. Well, they're not doing
aren't they?
union. Yeah, they may be
They're
doing-
not doing union. And so a lot of those movies that are shot in New Orleans and Atlanta, a lot of them are not union.
Well, that you know, and that goes to that is a problem. Yeah, that's a problem in a certain way because, you know, especially from minority actors or black actors, you know what I mean?
Right.
Whatever. If you're trying to work and you're not getting enough work, and then there's a good part, but then that production company is not a signatory of the union,
Right.
just offer you the deal, say, hey, here's what I can pay you. You want to do it, you know? Then
Does the
you get that,
union,
yeah.
somebody established like you, does the union get mad at you if you do non-union stuff?
Well,
I mean, because you're established, so
yeah.
like,
Well,
do
I
they get
mean,
upset?
yeah, I think. Well, I mean, basically, the union is if anybody breaks the union, then that weakens the union. You know, so
Oh yeah.
so the whole point is to not do that, so that, you know, we're all stronger together. You know, that's where the artists have to come together. I think, you know, nowadays with all, like you're talking about, these kind of quick productions and these little
Right.
things that may never be seen, and, you know, I mean, all this kind of stuff. You know,
Man.
so I don't know if it really becomes a major problem. You know, I wouldn't want to like encourage people to do that, but it's understandable. And I think the union now understands that you do have to make a living. You know, there is a certain point where actors have to work. So if that's the best you can do, you know, there are ways to deal with it, you know. But unfortunately, it would be better if we were all in a position where our jobs were all paying residuals and they weren't
Yeah.
buyouts and they were like,
We're
you know,
covered.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and because you also get your health and your, you know, pension benefits
That's
with
true.
that too, right? So part of the thing I think with the union also, which is great. I mean, I don't want to be necessarily a spokesman for the union, but obviously I've been in the union for
Yeah,
my whole
man.
career, like freaking,
Man.
you know what I mean? Probably
Yeah.
too long, you know.
Yeah.
So you know, but you know, you have to make a certain amount of money to qualify for your health benefits.
Yes.
Right. So when you're doing these jobs and that money doesn't count towards your benefits, that also is kind of hurting you long term in a way too.
Long term.
Yeah, because it's great insurance, you know.
Hmm.
You cover your family, kids, everybody. You know, it's a when you qualify, you know.
I was telling Maria, I felt like being Mary Jane broke up with me.
It's
I
crazy
just-
with this thing, huh?
I was telling that being Mary Jane, I was telling Maria that being Mary Jane, I felt like it broke up with me. I just woke up one day and she didn't want to be with me no more. Like it was just like, it seemed like we could go longer, like,
Yeah.
and then it just, no
Yeah.
more.
Right, yeah. Well, we
Like,
could've
y'all
definitely
just went
gone
on a
longer.
2-hour, the way y'all started, 2-hour episode, and good night.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was a tough one. I mean, that's one of the harder endings that I've been a part of, I think, my career, because it definitely had legs. The
It had
audience,
legs.
we had an audience, we had the quality,
Man,
and
great stories.
Yeah, I think the fans were rooting for it to come back. Like, I think that's why I was telling Blue there was this break, and I think
Yeah.
we thought it was going to come back. But I was thankful that they came back with the special and ending, gave you some sort of ending, that it didn't just go away.
Yeah, exactly. I appreciated that too, to wrap it up a little bit, and
Mhm.
she gets her happy ending. And so, I thought
Yeah.
for years, my younger brother on the show and myself, we were trying to like get a spinoff together. We
Yeah.
didn't do that. The
A
Patterson
spinoff
brothers,
off of that
like
show?
Yeah, be the Patterson brothers, or have the Pattersons like the family.
Oh, are you
The
still
spinoff.
working on that?
I mean, I am. There's a whole new, regime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it may or may not. And also, I don't know if that's the demographic of the network, actually, as far as how it's shown
Mm.
for men, because then these are the complexities that you get into, because you have to realize that it's the audience is Black females generally, and so
Yeah, and they went on, and BET went on this strong kick. If it was written or directed by a Black woman,
right.
it had a green light. So
Well,
well, I mean, in a sense, I mean, they
Yeah.
even called, what did they call they turned the channel into Her?
yeah, you're right. There's BT Her also. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Right.
so, like, probably two dudes, it probably wasn't in their focus at the moment. In the
I don't know, but
understanding of-
isn't Tails like a male show or no? I probably
Tails?
shouldn't say that. I haven't really watched it, but the commercials, I felt like it was kind of.
What's Kells?
I think it's called
Tails?
Tails, right?
Oh
With
yeah,
the-
that's true. That's
right.
true.
It is, right?
I mean, I could be completely wrong about that. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't really know what the network is doing as far as like that.
No,
But
I do think when the few panels I was on, I feel like they were pushing female, but then you'll see something come out and it's not quite that. But
right, yeah, there's
it all
definitely
depends
male
on who's
audience.
behind something, I guess. But
Yeah.
what's tricky is when you say that, I think as a female viewer, depending on the storyline, just because it's men, I don't feel necessarily that females would shy away from it, not want to watch it. They probably would want to watch it. Just
Right.
depends on the story,
Well, that's true. Maybe I need to push it harder. Yeah, maybe.
I think you should. It sounded very interesting when you said that. It's just having the right spin where the female, to keep the female engaged.
Right, exactly.
For
Right.
females, it's always, probably seeing a different perspective from the male view, but yet you still have the female in mind.
Right.
That makes sense?
Yeah, well, that's true.
In my
Well,
head, it
also
makes
it's our
sense, but I
creator.
don't know if I said it right.
Yeah, it's true. And we also lost our creators, our showrunners, so who were amazing, and
All right, yeah, because y'all got a
Yeah.
whole new Will Packer was in y'all last season. Y'all got a whole new regime running.
You
Right.
have a whole new group in the end.
Yeah, Will
Yeah.
Parker took over the last season.
Yeah, that last
Oh.
yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, when the
Oh.
Achilles stepped off, so that was kind of, and that was the real, that was the initial vision for the show. So
Right.
Oh,
And it
I
just
think we
changed,
should
but-
revisit that.
Yeah, I think I would love that. I mean, we've been kind of playing with it. Also been playing with another idea where it wouldn't necessarily be those characters, but we could have that kind of rapport. Two brothers, in a show.
Yeah, well,
Would
I
Would you
really
move to Atlanta?
like characters in that.
Huh?
Would you move to
No.
Atlanta?
No, I didn't move. I mean, we didn't. We didn't. There was so much space between seasons that it didn't really end up making sense to move down there.
No, I mean, would you move to Atlanta, or it
Oh.
was just cool for the work?
Oh, would I? I actually enjoyed Atlanta. I had a good
Really?
time down there. I think it's a great city. So it's hard for me to conceive about living anywhere other than New York or LA, because that's just been my
That's just
thing.
where the work is.
Yeah, it's just been since I was a kid. I've just been moving back and forth between two coasts. So it everything besides that feels a little slow for me, unfortunately. And but I loved Atlanta, and I loved the vibe and the energy and the scene and the nightlife and everything, you know, so it was fun. But, you know, right now, all I think about is work. Wherever the work is, wherever it takes me, I try to go there.
Right.
Richard, can I ask you about your previous characters? Is there any one particular character that you feel was very close to you, how you are in real life? Or have they all been so different to you?
Oh, that's an interesting story. Well, that's interesting. Well, I guess it's twofold because I kind of pride myself as an actor who gets into character, who actually does believe in characters and creating characters and bringing characters to life. As far as, you know, my role in the story and telling the story, so that, I guess, from there. But at the same time, I think to make any character effective, you have to bring some of yourself to it, you know. So I'm really, it's crazy. I'm such an old school kind of actor, you know. I kind of came up in New York theater, and I came up you know, idolizing, you know, the Marlon Brandos and that method actors, you know what I mean? So, you know, and the guys in the 70s who were, you know, heroic, you know. So I do have a certain, I guess I do have a certain thrust I've noticed, you know, where I want to play strong men, you know, generally, or find the strength in a weaker character so that we can understand him and what he's going through. I think, so from there, and then with a television series, you know, the more you get to play the character, if it deals with the character's personal life, you get to show more facets of yourself, you know? So, you know, so it's tricky, but a lot of times I grow with the character. So like, you know, like I used to, you know, read about Paul Newman or something like that. And one of his quotes, I believe is attributed to him, was that at a certain point, he became 50% himself and 50% the best of all the characters that he played, you know?
Wow.
So
you can relate to that?
Huh?
He draws
You can
from
relate to that?
Yeah, I can relate to that because I think that, you know, one of the harder things about staying in the game is to evolve all the time. And how do you adapt to the changing circumstances and be very current and stay current. You know, I think one of the things I'm most proud about is feeling like I've been able to stay current all these decades of working, you know?
Wow.
And
that is for sure.
You know, but that has required me to actually change, you know, continually, to reinvent myself, to evolve and embrace the now as opposed to how I used to be or how I think it should be, or, you know what I mean? It's like, what is it now? How do you succeed? What is how do you win now? So I think from there, being an actor in itself has made me a better person. You know, I try to approach it as a self-improvement. And one of the things I kind of felt with being an actor was I was like, well, you can't guarantee when you're going to work. You know, you don't know how much you're going to make. You don't have a lot of control over a lot of things, but it is a field where, you know, you can be positive, you can read, you can study about, you know, you can learn yourself, you can be sensitive to people and, you know, compassionate, have empathy, you can develop, you know, intellect, you can learn subjects that you wouldn't necessarily know. Like I learned a lot of law when I was doing Law and Order, which totally changed, you know, my life, because before Law and Order, which was funny, I was playing a lot of street guys, you know? And that's where I was from. You know, I was doing drug dealers and bad dudes, you know, like, you know, Shakedown. I had movies, Shakedown, you know, I had different movies. I was war, you know, Vietnam guys. And then all of a sudden, I could put on this suit and be this lawyer. And everybody afterwards, they really thought, oh, wow, he's this kind of guy. But actually, that was a stretch for me. But I had to evolve into that character. So I had to read a lot of law books and you know, everything to get myself into the mindset of this lawyer, you know, and learn legalese. And now actually I'm very comfortable with law. Actually, I can do, you know, I try to do my own contracts. It forced me to do my own taxes sometimes. Different things that allow me to be, you know, to put my
because it was
mind
enough seasons to in scenarios that were real scenarios.
Exactly. You know, so, you know, and then, you know, like we talked about Patrick and, you know, being Mary Jane, that may have been closer to me actually than a lot of characters, I guess. but also partly because of the situation. It was one of the few times where I had a whole family around me, where I could be a son and a father,
Yes.
and a grandfather and a brother and
Brother,
and
yeah.
a man, and have problems, you know.
Yeah.
And it was, and the story was really about that. It wasn't necessarily about anything else. It wasn't about solving the crime or, you know, saving
Right.
the world or whatever. It was really about growing as people and you know, as a family and stuff like that.
As an individual person. And
Yeah, exactly, right.
Yeah.
Have you had a character that you found a little challenging for you to really get into that character? Does it take you a long time, or can you read a script and you can kind of get into that character pretty quickly? Is there a process for you? I think I threw out 3 questions. Sorry. Pick either one.
Well, it's I mean, that's interesting. I think that well, it's, this may be funny. I mean, I don't know. It always depends on the role, right? And every role, depending on, like, if it's, let's say if we're talking about television, right?
Right.
You have a series regular, right? And you know it's a television series.
Okay.
I'm gonna approach that part a little differently than I would, let's say, a guest spot or recurring, right? So if it depends on the role, obviously everything depends on the role, but I think in my career, the things that have been interesting is that the parts that I've really gotten, right? Like gotten, were the ones that I instantly identified with, that I could hear them right away. And I was like, oh, wow, I read this and I'm like, wow, this is me. I know this character. I feel this in my, in my soul, and I got to go in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times you got to have that kind of energy, that kind of definiteness of purpose, that kind of like, boom, this is me. I'm focused. I'm going to get this,
But now let me ask you, if you don't feel that, will you turn down a role because of that, or do you give it some time and grow into it?
Well, I mean, personally, over the years, I had to learn myself. This again, when we're talking about the self, awareness, and where I had to realize that there was a point, like, acting is very interesting. It's like we want to work, and then at the same time, auditioning and things like that can feel like they're put upon us. Like, why do I have to audition for this? Like, what, Like,
okay, I got you.
Whatever,
I got you. Right.
So not only are you dealing with the character all the time, but you're also dealing with the fact of what you have to do to get that role, right?
Right.
So if the role is offered to me and I'm working on the part, that's one thing. If the role is I have to go audition for it, now I have to assess the fact that I have to audition for it, right? Whether I like the part or not. Now I got to think like, well, damn, why do I got to audition for this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got to overcome that. First, you got to overcome that to actually say, okay, I'm going to audition for it. All right.
Right.
All right, okay, I'm going to go in. Once you get to that, then you can kind of lock in and say, okay, now how am I going to do this? And then you have to set upon the task of finding the character. And then, I think where maybe a lot of actors or people may or may not go, as hard as they need to, is that you have to realize that it is a competition, So, it's not about you giving a good audition or going in and good, but it's about you being the character and being undeniable, and they have to cast you and they want to pay you to play this character, right? That's a whole nother level of
Right.
what of the work that you're trying to do. So I work hard, in that way. I enjoy that kind of process of discovering a character and things like that. But the level of work I try to always bring does require that I find the character and invest in the character like that, whether it's an audition or a part or whatever. So, but yeah, I do have an approach, I think we all have an approach depending on how we want to approach the character and find the character in ourselves. But I think a lot of times what misses is that out here in LA, especially, people think that they themselves are the character, right? We're already interesting enough that we should be the character, which is kind of true. You have to play yourself. But at the same time, it may not get you the part, right? So you have the thing of like approaching the character or actually getting the part, right? So to me, there's another level where there's a level of how do you get the role? Then you can go work on the role. Once I have the role, I'll work on it totally different, maybe than I had to work on it to go into the room and win the role, or to self-tape or whatever, like nowadays it might be, you know? So
It's funny that you say that. Well, not funny, but there are a lot of actresses that were saying they felt that it was disrespect in the sense of they're trying to begin their career. They're sitting in the room waiting to audition for a part, but they're sitting there with thespians that made them want to become an actor or an actress, that they don't understand why they even sitting in there having to read for the part.
Right.
They've shown themselves approved throughout the years. You know, there's plenty of stuff that you can see. If I could pull this off, why am I here back to where I began?
Right.
I was going to ask, because the female actress we had that conversation with, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I was wondering if that Tangi,
Tangi
and the other, it was someone else.
Tangi brought that up too. Who else?
Okay, Tangi, from Stuck on You. Stuck with
You.
Tammy
Townsend.
Right. So I was going to ask him if,
yeah.
I was going to ask him, but it's funny you mentioned that, because I was going to say, I wonder if the men have that same experience when they are going,
veterans.
My sentence. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they're veterans.
Yeah. Well, these, you know, to me, these are all the things that actually are the mind games that the mind will play on you, you know, to keep you from your blessing, you know, to keep you, you know, from being able to really apply yourself to the task at hand.
Right.
And these are all things that, as actors, that's what I was saying. Is like, oh, excuse me. Excuse me. We have to, you know, you have to deal with, because those will play in your mind. And if that, and unfortunately, it becomes a negative thing, because there's another book, because I have to read a lot of books too. I think you have to read a lot about success. You have to think about sales. You have to
right.
You know,
right.
And there was another thing where it was like, if you know, you go to the roulette. You know, you're gonna play the roulette. You know, wheel.
Right.
And you know, you got to put down on black or red, whatever.
Right.
And you sit there and you watch. You know, and you watch your ball go around. Right.
Okay.
Well, there was two theories. There was one theory where once you've placed your bet and the ball is going around, a lot of people will be sitting there like worried and thinking like, oh shit, okay, is it gonna hit? It's like, oh man, I want this, you know what I mean? But the bet's already been played. The time to worry was when you were picking the number before you played. You know what I'm saying? Right?
Real talk.
You know what I'm saying?
Real talk.
So
yeah.
So once you're in the room, once you came to the room to the audition, there's no more time to be thinking like, why am I in the room? Why should I be here? That should have been thought out before you decided you're going to come to the room. But once you come to the room, your job is to stay in character.
And stay in character. You've accepted the challenge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, but that is a challenge. You know, that is, you know.
Right.
You know,
check
for
your
me,
ego at the door.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I'm there now. You know what I mean?
You're there now. You know what I'm saying?
Unless I'm going to leave. But I'm like, you know, this is just a distraction. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's really good. Off subject, I have to ask you, does anyone ever tell you look like someone else?
I used to get that.
What?
He reminds me of an artist, Big Daddy Kane.
Oh, okay. I
Okay.
can
see it?
Okay. Smooth operator. I can see that.
All right. Well, that's
I can see the Daddy Kane.
Chocolate.
Which goes into a flow that, you know, Richard is a singer.
I know, you told me.
Yeah,
that's how Blue and I know each other. Yeah, we did.
Richard's a singer.
Are you going to sing a few notes for us today?
No, I wouldn't never do that. No.
Let me
Not
tell
with
you
Blue in the room. Now I would have to
him.
defer to the greatness of Blue over here. I just hold a few notes. I might be able to sell a song, but this man is the man, huh?
I watch him perform on Instagram, Facebook, and one of his last tributes was "Ain't No Sunshine When She Gone."
Oh,
and Richard he's a true singer. He's a true entertainer. He's so serious when he's performing, he doesn't even really look at the camera. He is completely locked in to the words. Like, it's so funny. One of the reasons why I love watching him is because you get the real words with Richard. You be like, oh, that's okay. That's what.
Oh, that's what it really is.
Richard do the real words. He delivers it. He delivers
that's
every
so
song he does.
good.
You gotta watch it. You really gotta watch
Richard, I'm gonna watch because I mess up
Oh, yeah.
almost every song. I
Oh,
make
yeah.
up my own words all the time.
Oh, that is funny. No, I always think about Blue telling me that when we were doing our musical. He's telling me that, like, you know, he's like, man, you know, you can sing. You know what I mean? If you took the music as serious as you do the acting, man, you'd be, you know
He
what
can
I mean?
sing. No, he can
And I was
sing.
like,
He
oh, wow, that always
definitely
encourages
can sing.
me.
And he's a singer. That's his true love, because he does not, whenever he can get a chance to, he goes to express himself and deliver it,
Oh,
which is kind of amazing, because well, it's not a lot of roles that have singing in it, really.
Huh.
well, that's the thing. That's true. Yeah, if you really think about it. No, and
It's
nobody's not.
really not a lot of roles.
Yeah, he did James Brown, but I don't think he was really singing, you know.
No,
You
not
know,
at all.
Yeah.
So as far as the business itself of entertainment, now that there's so many different avenues to be able to put your talents and platforms on, do you think we're in a better space, or do you think because we have so many things that's available that it's too much content?
Well, you know.
And it was easy to figure out during this pandemic, because Lord have mercy.
Yeah, I know. Well, I love the fact that we can get everything out, that we got. So much
right.
access, you know, and that really changed. That's that whole adapting to the new world, you know.
Right.
You know, but I think what it's cost us is the ability to make a living at it, you know. So,
man,
I think it's taking it much more into like a hobby zone, because you can't monetize it, you know. It's as much.
Cannot monetize it.
Yeah. It's really, I mean, it was always challenging, obviously, because you had all kind of middlemen who were, you know, who may or may not pay you, you know what I mean, your money. So, you know, so you needed to be able to like go like, yo, I need to get this money. And if you weren't the thug in it, then it was going to be hard to get your chips anyway, you know.
Right.
But now I think that was something that we watched. You know, we watched from, you know, computers being sold because you could like burn CDs, you know, back in the day to steal the music basically for free.
Yeah.
So, you know, so the computer companies were making the money. The hardware was making the money off or whatever. And now with all these, you know, platforms and things, you know, like
bootlegger came. The bootlegger, he done.
Yeah,
like
exactly, right. You know,
he walk in the barbershop with his movies, and they're like, nah, I'm good. I got it. There's a website.
Right.
I can watch it while they shooting it.
Yeah, exactly, exactly, man. You know.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
They are constantly trying to figure out how to get your talent for free. Constantly.
Right. Or make you pay, actually, make you pay. Really, you know what I mean? Because you have to pay for the website. You're paying for the, you know.
Yeah.
For the videos, the music, the production, you know, and you can't recoup it. You know, there's no way. So you realize you're not going to recoup it.
At all. Like, you got to make, it's like you got to make your deal.
Yeah.
Your best deal, your first deal, your best deal. Like, you got to make your deal, get your money right now.
Yeah, right, exactly, right.
Because they're going to flip it, as you know.
Yeah.
And we still got the NBCs and the ABCs and the Foxes that if you get it on a major network, you're going to be playing on that level.
Right.
But we got a whole lot more of everything else.
Yeah.
And they're streaming. They're fully streaming.
They're streaming, right? Yeah, exactly.
They released what was that they just released this week? They just forget it. Oh, they're going to release Hamilton
Oh yeah, I
The
saw
movie
it. Yeah.
straight to streaming.
Right, the Broadway show. Yeah.
Disney's like, you know what? We might as well just cut out this 60-40 because we got to pay the
Right.
theater 60%. So we won't. Let's just count them out,
Right.
and we just go straight right here.
And that's going to be something that's going to be hard to let go of when we come out of the
Man,
pandemic.
that's the part that's going to be hard to let go. So that's going.
Yeah.
You see, what is that? AMC.
AMC, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they already filed chapter 11 or 13.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, you know, and they're not foreseeing a couple of months. They're foreseeing this year being done
Mm-hmm.
because who's going to want to go in the theaters and sit in there close net, close to somebody, you know?
Right.
You know, they basically
Terrible,
gonna have to
man.
limit the
Terrible.
seating. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, this is really, I don't know. We kind of, I don't know what's gonna happen. It's so weird. It's you know.
It's
even
so
imagine.
crazy, and plays
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the film. You see, the Hollywood Bowl
Mm-hmm.
canceled for the first time in 98 years.
Mm.
They've canceled their whole LA summer.
Right.
So, and you know that, hey, Hollywood Bowl in the summer. That's that's
no,
where you get
yeah.
all the
Oh, that was
concerts.
great. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
all canceled.
I know. I was
Yeah.
so looking forward to that this year. You know, I went once, right, Blue? Last year, I think that one event I went to, I couldn't wait to go to another event.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It's so great out there. It's fresh, you know, and you're hearing the music.
And you get to bring your own good food. You get to bring your own drink, like, and then you sit there and listen, and the sound is great. So if Hollywood closed, then you got the Greek is gonna shut down.
Yeah.
I
Now, I
mean,
don't know what we're gonna do with ourselves, man. They really got us like locked in, and we're on this.
the only
video
thing I
event
will
or
say
something.
is, I will say this: it has regulated your understanding of how you spend money. You're looking, you're going, I really didn't have to spend that money. I really, obviously, I haven't had to spend the money I've been spending. Like
Right.
I find myself putting myself in situations to go spend money.
Right.
And
I
here-
don't know. I'm kind of missing those situations. I think
Yeah,
right now,
look,
I'm
look,
ready
we
to get
can
back to some
I'm
of that.
telling you, you look in your account, your gas tank is still full. You look in your account, and stuff that hasn't left your account from a restaurant you did a week ago, they finally taken it. Like, none of that exists.
Right.
You know, stopping to go get fast food, none of that. You know, you'd be like, I'll go home.
Right.
I'll go home and eat something. Like, it's a whole different
Well,
understanding.
you ain't even left home.
You haven't left home, which is true. You know, which and look, I feel sorry for the businesses and them.
Actually, I was gonna say I do try to still order out to support.
I order
that's
here
good.
and there, but
Mhm.
ain't nothing like
Not every day.
Yeah.
And no, but it ain't nothing like cooking your own thing.
Right.
Man, come on, man. Like you got the time.
Well,
You get to do it the way you want to do it. And some of the stuff I cook,
Well, yeah.
I look at it and I be like, this is big. This is $60 meal right here by myself.
Right. You be grubbing. Yeah. You be cooking. Yeah. But
Yeah,
then going to the grocery store is an out.
Man, your groceries done went a little higher, definitely.
Mhm.
But you know, and that depends on how many people in your house.
Well, they
Right.
also raised the prices in the grocery store with stuff.
Did
You think they
did?
raised the
Oh, I think they tried to sneak it in, but they definitely did.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, you know,
Prices have gone
you
up.
shop at Whole Foods, right? Whole paycheck.
Whole paycheck. Yeah. Right. Gelson's. Yeah. I pay less.
Gelson's and all that. You know,
Yeah.
if you already got to get on a ladder, you don't care how tall it is if you shop it there anyway.
You know what I mean? Hey,
We go, me and Richard go to Ralph's. You know, we look at our vegetables and check and make
Oh,
sure.
you were
they're
talking about me going to Gelson? I thought you were talking about him.
No, I'm talking about you.
Whatever.
Hey man, would you ever move back to Cleveland?
No,
Everybody I ask that, they be like,
no. Well, I mean, it just, I mean, like I said, it's hard for me to move from New York to LA anyway,
yeah.
So I don't know if it's against the home, but now everybody's gone, unfortunately. All my family, you know, it's a different place there. I got a lot of cousins there still, and they got
it
their
is a different
families, you know. But the city is, you know, it's crazy. I left when I was 16, really, and never really, you know.
Oh,
Went to boarding school, and then I went to New York, and I never really got back, you know. So it would be tough. Yeah, it would be tough, and it's cold.
yeah. The only person that said he loved Cleveland, he wasn't leaving, was Avant.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's still in Cleveland. He loves Cleveland.
Well, that's tight. Well, he's got a studio. He can just be doing.
Yeah,
his
everything.
thing.
That's
Who said
just,
that?
you know, Avant, the singer Avant.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
He's from
Oh.
Cleveland. His whole family
Yeah.
from Cleveland.
Well, I
Like,
ain't mad at
that's
that.
his world.
Mm.
You
It'd
know.
be great if you never leave. I mean, it's good. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
but
know? I mean, you know,
you know,
I love
and
it.
and Maria's from Delaware.
Oh, I
Oh,
thought you
yeah?
were gonna say something smart.
Oh, Nova Scotia. I always say somewhere
How long you
far
been
out.
out here? How long you been out here, Maria? How long you been out? You in LA?
I'm in LA. It's been a year, almost a year and a half now.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's it.
That's it.
Oh wow, from
Mhm.
Delaware.
From Delaware.
So you raised your kids in Delaware? You raised your family there?
I did. Yep. I'm born and raised from Delaware, and they grew up in Delaware. Yep.
Oh wow.
Well, I was like Pennsylvania and Delaware, but I was right over the line, like
Okay.
right there. Mhm.
All right. Now, do you act and sing, or what do you? Are you?
No, I don't have those great talents. Nope.
Okay.
She's a writer.
I write.
She's a writer.
Okay. What kind of things you
Richard, I
do?
wish I could sing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blue. Yeah.
That's what everybody. That's what people all say. They
Yeah.
wish they
wish.
could sing. I believe everybody can sing.
Right. That's right. Exactly.
There's all levels to everything, but I believe everybody can sing.
Richard,
It's a-
until he got
it's a
me in the
sound.
studio, I tried to tell him.
Oh, tight. Yeah, I know you will. Yeah.
No, but yeah, she's a writer, so that's why she saw you at the film festival. She was
Oh. You write screenplays and scripts, or?
Yes.
Which,
Mhm.
okay. Oh, tight. Okay.
Yep.
That's good. Which festival do we see? I see you at.
ABFF.
Oh, it was ABF
in Miami.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was live. That was a good time, man.
Yeah, I think
ABFF in Miami be cracking. Like
Yeah, that is a great.
it is,
that's a
and
great
it's
time.
always the week before the Super, like especially when it's the week before Super Bowl and
Yeah.
Super Bowl's gonna be in Miami.
Oh man, yeah.
It's already going on.
yeah.
ABFF is in June.
Okay.
Is it June or July? Right?
It's June.
Right, so it's
Blue,
a
you
couple of weeks
talking-
before. They always
Oh.
go preset for Super Bowl.
For what?
They are, when Super Bowl, in the ABF, in their film festival during 2 weeks before,
Super Bowl's
2
in
weeks
February.
before Super Bowl.
Oh.
There is one.
Are you talking
Oh,
about
that's the
Sundance?
Super Bowl. Oh,
No,
Sundance.
Sundance is in
January.
yeah, but it's not in Miami.
But well, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, that's true.
Brett just
Yeah,
came
you're
back
right.
from one in Miami. It was not ABFF.
In Miami?
Yeah. What other one that's in Miami?
Yeah, that's ABFF. Yeah. I think she's talking about
Yeah.
the Super Bowl. That's true. Super Bowl's in the winter.
Super Bowl's in the winter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you keep saying 2 weeks before. The Super
No,
Bowl.
Super Bowl is not in the. It's
Is it-
not. Is it in the winter? I thought it was like. I
Blue.
thought it was like. No, yeah. Wait a minute. No, it's not in the winter. Super Bowl is
Super Bowl
always.
is always the first week of February or the last week of
That's not
January.
winter. Oh, that's winter to y'all. Oh, that's right.
No, that's summer.
Delaware and Cleveland. That's winter to y'all. I'm in LA. That's we already
It's
rolling
always
into
summer.
Summer. Yeah, we already springtime. Yeah, no,
You from
my
LA?
bad.
You from LA too? Where you from?
I'm born and raised, baby.
Oh, get out of here! Oh
Yeah,
no,
I'm
I
from
don't know about
81st and
real-
Avalon, man. I'm from the east side of LA. Yeah, I'm born and
What?
raised.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I just
cool.
have-
So
I
confused
just have
right
a
now.
country.
What?
I just have a country style of talking, but yeah, no, I'm born and raised here.
Oh, that's crazy. I don't even know if I knew that.
Yeah, this
Oh,
my
snap,
home, baby.
yeah. Oh, snap. Okay.
Yeah.
One of the few-
That
Most
explains
people
it,
come
right,
from the country.
Richard?
Yeah, that explains. That's why
that
he don't know
explains
no
it all.
seasons. He don't know seasons. Yeah, he's like.
No,
Super
I
Bowl-
don't know season, man. You ain't lying. You ain't
Super
lying.
Bowl's
I
in
remember
November,
growing
ain't it?
up.
It's like Super Bowls and yeah.
I remember when I was growing up.
That was so funny.
From kindergarten till 7th grade, we had no rain. It was a rain drought.
Wow.
So it didn't rain
wow.
till I was in the 7th grade, like a real rain, like real rain.
Yeah.
So I was in 7th grade. So like that means it was just sun.
Dry. It was hot. Yeah, it was dry.
It was just regular sun the whole time.
Damn.
Yeah,
That's
I love
great.
LA. It's hard for me to leave the West Coast because definitely a West Coast dude.
Yeah.
You start talking about cold and the South and all that kind of stuff.
You ain't got no winter coat, huh? You ain't even got a coat, probably.
Hey, look, when I would go on tour, I would have to go buy coats just to deal with, especially Detroit and Philly and ooh, that's some and DC.
Yeah,
below
real,
4.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's some real cold. I don't even
real.
understand why Chicago. I don't even understand why y'all even do that. Ain't no sense me lying.
Yeah.
And at this age, I ain't going nowhere to go make me cold anyway.
Well, that's
Not
why
at
everybody moving
all.
out here.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Well, we got Maria out there now. Yeah, she said, "Yo, I'm done."
She is
Listen,
done.
I've never been a cold person. I've always wanted to be warm, so
Yeah,
I don't miss it.
yeah, no.
Richard, is the latest newest thing that you're doing Botch or Good Trouble?
Well, Good Trouble is on. I guess it's streaming now.
Right now,
on Hulu, Freeform. Bosch is the newest one that's been released.
Okay.
For season 6, and I'm also on season 5, so that's running right now. I mean, the newest thing I'm doing right now is this pilot Echo for NBC Universal. You know, so we gotta see. Fingers crossed for that one. You know, how that's gonna fare. But
Well, man.
So
But yeah,
who's
Bosch
your
was great.
character in that one? Can you give us a summary on that one?
In that one, I'm like a FBI policeman, and we're dealing with some futuristic crimes. You know, trying to stop crimes in the future, kind of thing. So it has So I'm part of a team, part of a high elite team of crime fighters.
Nice.
So, yeah. So that's pretty cool. We got a little like a Lethal Weapon kind of rapport going on in there, a little bit of vibe, you know. So it's it's gonna be really good.
Okay.
Really good, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, my man, I truly appreciate you taking out the time to enlighten us with what it is to be in the game, and
Yeah, I enjoyed your perspective.
That's a strong perspective, especially the roulette table. I really like that one. I'm gonna have to borrow a little bit of that. I ain't gonna steal it all the way, but I'm definitely gonna borrow it.
All right. Feel free,
And hey, man, we gotta hook up.
Yeah, for sure.
And hang out. You know, and as soon as this pandemic is over, and are you still doing anything with your script?
Yeah, I'm still writing those things. Yeah, which script you
No,
thinking?
I mean, I'm talking about the script, the script that I did we did the reading.
Yeah. Great. You know, I got to go back to that, man. Actually, I haven't. Yeah.
I think that's a good script, man.
Yeah, oh, thank you, man. Yeah.
I think that's a good script. And it incorporates singing in it along with it.
Right. This is what I've been trying to, find.
I think it's a good script.
So you're sitting on all kinds of goodness over there.
Yeah, it is crazy. Yeah, it's good. And you know, that's why the short I just did, Anticipation, was kind of me embracing the whole new media and the new, you know.
Oh.
And
okay.
Trying to really figure out how I can produce some of these things and really make them with the technology that we got right now, you know, because it's crazy, you know. So.
Are you gonna be doing any directing?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing all that. Yeah.
I mean, are you putting your hat in for any of these? Some of these things that you have been on, have auditioned, have gotten. Have you put your hat in to direct some of the episodes? Yeah,
well, that was one of the other things that I started shadowing on Being Mary Jane, actually. And so
okay.
I was, BET had allowed me to come on, and I was looking to direct. Actually, if we had another season, if there was season 5, there was a chance I would have gotten to direct one of those potentially. So unfortunately, that didn't happen. But a lot of times, I think for actors, you get a chance when the show starts to run, when you're on a series and the series runs 2 seasons or whatever, and then they give you a chance to get an episode, and then you get that kind of entree into
leeway. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So right now, I'm trying to break into the television directing also. Yeah, and do some of this,
Well, all right, my brother. Can you how can people reach out to you? What's your Instagram handle?
Don't reach
Your
out to me.
website?
Don't reach out to me. Nobody. No, I'm just. Don't. I'll meet. Yeah, no. I'll reach out to you. No, I'm just teasing. Yeah, it's Richard Lee Brooks on IG, Richard Brooks Jr. on Twitter, and then Richard Brooks on Facebook. You can find me.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna follow you right now.
Oh, okay. I'll follow you back.
And one more question: are you gonna do some master classes at some point?
Ooh, nice.
You know,
And I mean, give them,
Yeah.
not go to them.
huh?
I mean, you teach them.
You know, that's funny you say that, because I have been feeling that, you know, more, especially since my daughters have gotten into the business now,
Right.
and I try to coach and mentor them a little bit. It
Okay.
has really made me see that there might be a need to to share some of my perspective on the game, So
I think
Yeah.
I think you will know how to deliver it where people can understand it.
yeah, well, that's I think that thank you, man, thank you. Yeah, I think the hardest part has been just trying to keep myself in the game, just like
Yeah.
when I'm working all the time, and and try not to get too spread too thin, and figure out what is the best way, So I think when I got into the writing and the filmmaking and I realized that a lot of times it may be something like that, because it's kind of hard, I think, now to teach acting to people in a classroom situation.
Yes.
Because it's hard to create the dynamic now, especially in LA. I think my biggest thing is I think that the level is not high enough of the effort, the amount of work that has to be put into it,
Right.
So I know when I was studying, because we were more theater, emphasis on theater, the scenes were richer, and you had to know all your lines. You had to it was really a performance. When we did a scene in class, it was really like a full-on performance.
Right.
That you felt like, I could take this off Broadway. I could do this right now for
Right.
Right. And I think now here there's a lot of emphasis on code readings and auditions and just little techniques, things which are good, but I don't think they really get to the craft of like like Maria,
especially code reading
the character. Yeah, like finding
especially code reading. Yeah. Code reading. You ain't found no character. You just
right. Yeah, you just kind of winging it, trying to remember.
You just trying to wing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the level of work is and I guess for also for minority actors, if I was, it wouldn't be, if I did a class, it wouldn't be just for minorities, obviously, but
right.
But just as a to raise the level of our work, to put more of an emphasis on quality, so we can compete. Yeah, so we can compete for the awards, so that we actually are in the running. And I found that I think we will accept lesser quality work, but we also appreciate high quality work too. So so yeah, I think if I did a class, it would probably be intense. It would be intense. So I'd have to find actors who really wanted it.
No, I don't get intense from you at all.
Yeah. No, okay, good. All right.
I'm joking. I was joking. No, I can see it.
Good, because I'm not intense at all. No, not at all. So
really?
No, I'm just teasing. I guess I'm intense. Yeah, right.
Oh, okay.
We're looking at me like, you ain't intense?
No, but Richard does come off, and he's really not even like this, but he comes off serious, like he just comes off like he's serious, like
Richard. I get it, because I think that people think that
serious,
about,
and he has a joking side to him all day long, but you people don't know how to approach him, because they don't know if they could even get close enough to have a good, they think he's serious. They just like, you damn near want to call him Mr. Brooks.
That's why, I put on my play.
One of those conversations you like, you mind if I call you Richard? Yeah, I do.
Richie, like, no, don't do that, right.
My brother, it's been a
Thank
pleasure.
you, man.
Thank you again.
Thank you all. Congrats on the podcast, man. You guys are killing it. I've been watching it, man. It's great. Yeah, I love seeing y'all together. I wish I was there in the room with you. I've been liking
Yeah,
those.
yeah.
You'll
so
have
we
to
back-
come
we-
back.
Yeah,
We
that's
we
great.
are. We
Love having you on the show.
and when you come back and we do the room, we're gonna have a 2-piece there for you to hit one of your joints.
Okay, tight. Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right, that sounds good. Okay, oh, that'll be tight. Okay.
yeah. Much
Okay,
love,
good.
my brother, and I
Okay, thank
appreciate
you.
you.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you.
Nice meeting you again.
You got
too,
it.
man. Okay, Marie.
Bye.
Take care. Look, I don't know how many is left. I think it's 1 or 2 left, and most of them are like in the IE. I think. I don't know how many drive-in theaters are left, but
I've been talking
Actual-
about that.
Actual functioning drive-ins?
functioning. In
Yeah,
Texas, it's going down. The drive-ins are going down. The part that's driving me nuts is people are bringing inflated mattresses
Hey.
and toss them in the back of their truck.
Oh,
they pick
that's
up
so
truck.
country. I'm surprised that there aren't more drive-ins here in California. Seems like
no,
that
we
would
had a
be
bunch
the
of 'em.
norm. Like,
And
where
then
are
you
they?
pass by
Oh, I
them
just don't know where
every
they are.
day.
Really?
Oh no. You know where they are. You might be well, you don't know. You live in a house now, but I was gonna say you might be living in it because
Are they
They
open?
they all condos and apartments now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm surprised that there aren't any here in California
Because
right now.
people going to drive-ins, it died out.
I don't
And it
know.
died out, and everybody wanted to go to the theater and lay back and recline and get that personal service.
Do you think they'll start it back up?
The only problem is here's the problem.
With the way streaming's going, I doubt it.
It can start back up. It can start back up. And the way it can start back up is because you can do it through channels of radio now. And at the end of it, you can do it through channels of radio. A mall or some big parking lot, like Big Lots or something like that, would have to set it up and put a screen on the side of their building. And then they cut off the only ways to come in, and then you drive in, and that could be they show the movie that way. That's the only way, because the problem is space. That kind of parking lot space don't exist. How many did y'all have? A lot of drive-ins in Nova Scotia? Where you from again?
Had a few.
Y'all had a few of them?
We had a few, but I think I've only been to, I only remember like maybe as an adult, I think I went once in Delaware. And then maybe within the last like 10 years, I decided to go to Maryland. They had one because they closed the one in Delaware. I think we got down to like one.
The problem with drive-in theaters is once you got to a certain age and you went on a date, you didn't see no movie.
Yeah.
You did not see no movie.
I didn't go on any dates to the drive-in, but I went just for the experience and for the kids to experience it. I think it's just a cool experience.
How many of your kids had to be in the trunk? How many people with you? Just me.
No, well, I had an SUV, so.
Oh, okay. They could see you.
See what?
People used to hide people in the trunk. It'd be like
All the
be
time.
2 people in the front seat,
So they
and
won't
there'd be
pay
19
someone?
people in the trunk.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
How many? Oh, just 2. You'd have a station wagon and have that cover on the back, and it'd be 5 kids up under there. Don't you say nothing. Don't move. Don't do nothing until we get
I think-
inside.
I think drive-ins messed up. It brought them a lot of business, but I thought they messed up when they put arcades at where the food stands were, because
When
parents.
people don't want to go.
Well, no, parents would come to watch the movie, tell the kids go
Oh, go play
play
the
arcade.
Oh, yeah, that's probably a problem.
You know, so that's why it'd be 19 people in the trunk.
Yeah,
You know.
I didn't do that. We actually went to watch the movie. My kids enjoyed the experience at the time.
Well, around that time, you would have just been your oldest son. I don't think your
No,
other
it
kids
was
are old
my
enough.
oldest and my middle. I didn't have
Okay.
the youngest at the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, say what?
I see you adding up my years.
No, I was just saying, I was adding up the time of when there were drive-throughs, but y'all might have had y'all longer. Y'all might have kept y'all longer than we kept ours.
Yeah, I'm telling you, within the last like 10 years, I've gone.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. No, we started getting rid of ours long time ago.
Now, I was going to Maryland right over, maybe like a 45-minute ride from where I lived in Delaware, but they were still open.
Gang violence
last,
helped
like,
close
4
ours
years.
too.
Huh?
Gang violence helped close ours too. So
Yes.
ours-
Oh,
Oh.
number one.
Yeah.
Oh, number one.
I mean,
Ooh.
from rival gangs having fights within the theater, within the,
Yes.
the
In
outside
the
of
parking
it,
lot,
or
over there where the popcorn is.
Oh.
yeah,
Go get
or
the- go get
janky
the
ass people
concession
going around
stand.
actually robbing people at their cars.
Oh, that's
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to LA, baby.
It
Oh,
definitely
wow.
happened here. That's for sure.
Because of COVID, Cal State Universities, Fresno State, they suspended their in-person classes through the fall semester.
Mhm.
Do you know how that's going to hurt where you done paid all this money and all your classes are online?
Yeah, that's why a lot of states are pursuing the whole college tuition and fees and forgiveness and all that other kind of stuff, because this is the new norm. I mean, hell, ain't no telling how long we're gonna be taking classes online.
Now that's okay if you can do the classes at any time you want to in that daytime. But if you have to actually link in at a certain time, that means your time is still spent being
A student.
somewhere at some time
Yeah,
in some
Do you
place
think it shouldn't be?
for that moment.
no, you should.
Yeah,
I'm talking
I
about if
think-
you're paying that money, to go to that university, then but you are now not getting the in-person or person-to-person education. Everybody can't do the work from home. Everybody can't do the schooling from home. Part of school for a lot of people is the environment and the socializing that comes with it.
To a degree, but I think by the time you get to college, you trying to find somebody who's going to take the notes for you or just record the class anyway. So I mean, it ain't like you really trying to.
Here's the
I don't know about
reality
that,
of life.
Like, I don't know.
Here's the
about that.
reality of life. When somebody tell you can't do something, that's when you miss it.
Yeah.
That's true. But again, I mean, hell, if you tell me, well, you can't go
So-
to class, I'm like, hey, okay, cool.
Yeah, no. If somebody
Well,
tells
missing
you
that whole
no
college,
class today,
right?
you cool. But when they tell you no class period, now you ain't got a choice. It just don't sit right. Everything is mental anyway. Everything is mental anyway.
Kind of, sort of.
My man. So the guy who shot the video, I don't know if y'all watched that, but the guy that shot the video,
Yeah, he didn't have nothing to say.
didn't have nothing to say other than the fact is he wish he hadn't shot the video, but
Wait a minute, what video are we talking about? Did you say?
the guy who the two guys who chased
The Arbery video.
yeah.
Okay.
The guy shot the video saying he wish he wouldn't have shot it, but if he didn't shoot it, then there would be no light on this tragic thing that happened. but he sounded so like most people when they do a good deed or when they feel like they have been a part of nipping in the bud wrongful justice, let's say that. They happy about it. This cat was so
He
confused.
didn't seem genuine about it.
He didn't seem genuine about it at all.
I didn't think
It's
he was
almost
confused.
like he showed it to me. It's almost like it went down like this. He did videotape it. He showed it to somebody. And they actually showed it to somebody, and he just got out of his hands. He was never going to turn it in. That's the way it came off. It came off like. I took it as he's like, okay, well, now that people know I took that video, now I have to take the stance of, oh no, you know, I want good to come out of it. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
You say
yeah.
so.
Yeah, that's the way he sounded so. Like crazy.
Well, they did not do a good job prepping him for that CNN interview. And actually, what's the guy's name? The guy, oh God, what's his name?
Which one? Chris
name
Cuomo?
is,
the one that
Chris
interviewed.
Cuomo. Cuomo interviewed him.
Chris Cuomo.
Chris
Cuomo.
Very agitated by him and the attorney.
He was agitated because
sniff the bullshit was his attitude. Like, come on.
Because he thought the dude was gonna take the hero role, you know, to take the. Yes, I stood up for justice, and he was like, "Yeah,
yeah." And another thing that pissed Chris off was the fact that the attorney tried to say, "Well, you know, my client only has a high school education. He's a truck driver," and Chris was like, "Well, okay, what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah.
You know,
what does that have to do with wrong and right?"
Yeah, don't try and downplay your client's education as him not being able to handle grown folk questions, because he came on here for a reason. So why is he here if he can't answer a damn thing?
Because he doesn't want people to believe that he was a part of it. Like, you know, at first everybody said that it was it was him and the other two men. They said that he was a part of the whole thing. So
right,
like I'm not sure.
And at first they tried to throw him into the. You're right.
So,
they tried to throw him into.
And honestly, after the interview, I was confused if he was a part of it or not. I didn't get any more clarity after his interview. But if he wasn't a part of it,
number one, didn't get any more clarity.
No,
he was on there trying.
I was questioning it even more because I'm like, well, did you explain why you were taking the video?
Yeah, exactly.
He wasn't even talking. And then when it happened, so we've seen video footage, right? When someone happens to be taking a video of something tragic happen, and their reaction while they're seeing this tragedy happen is caught on camera. I didn't hear him say anything. Did you hear anything when they play back the video?
Nope.
Nothing. There was nothing.
Oh.
Like, it was so quiet on the other side of it that
they had to start blaming.
I started wondering. Everybody. First thing they said, well, who was shooting the video?
Well, that's why I thought he was a part of it, because I was like, yo, there's no shock value with the person videoing it. Like, they knew what was happening. That's kind of
no
weird.
shock value at all. Like, no movement, no. Hey, y'all stop.
Yeah, did he even try? Yeah,
Nothing.
Yeah.
No commentating at all.
And then when they asked him, well, did you call 911? And they went, well, he couldn't call 911, Chris, because he was driving.
Wait a minute, you have the accent down, right?
I'm just like, really?
He couldn't call 911 because he's driving, but you can video it while you're driving.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
to the point to where I'm not sure when he veered to the right, I'm not sure if he was trying to impede Aubrey's progress or if he was just driving a video and just started drifting.
Didn't get me. I was so confused on it. It didn't, I don't know.
Yeah, but for him to try to push the narrative to now to where, hey, you know, if it wasn't for this video, we wouldn't be talking about this. So I think my client should get a little consideration. No.
He's trying to get everybody off of whipping his ass.
He's trying to get everybody off of him. Right. Exactly.
Man, I'm trying to tell you. But
well, I think they say he's gotten death threats, right?
Yeah, but that was the whole thing.
Oh,
And
you're
then
gonna
you come
always
up,
get death threats.
yeah,
You're gonna get
and you
those.
want to talk about, how he's a victim now. No, we're talking about somebody who's dead. And then you're going to get on here trying to talk about how you're the victim? Stop it. Just stop with all that.
On another sad note, I
You
got
only got one more sad story with me, Blue.
I got
Hey.
the phone call. I got the phone call and the text. Because when I was on Motown, my last year of being a part of the establishment, Andre Harrell had taken over. I remember the ad being him sitting in a big chair, but it didn't show his face or anything. It had a cigar pointing out of the side of the chair, and it said, "From Uptown to Motown." That was the ad that he would be the new president of Motown. And so I got to meet him, got to talk to him because he wanted to kind of have a face-to-face with all artists on the label. At the same time, I also had to kind of fight for my position, because when the CEO or anybody comes and take over a team, they want to bring their own players in. And like he was bringing in Horace, he was bringing in Big Bub, and Motown already had us crooners. We already had me, Johnny Gill. So he was bringing Big Bub and Horace, So in that understanding, it was kind of like one of y'all, a couple of y'all not gonna be able to make it on this team. I mean, you can stay until, but I'm putting all my money behind basically my Uptown artists that I'm bringing.
Yeah.
But he was a cool cat when I met him. We kicked it, a few times. But yeah, I got the phone call that Andre Harrell had passed away. And I still don't have a full understanding of what he passed away from. One situation said heart attack. Another situation said COVID. But there's been no real clarification. And the part that really tripped me out is I've been waiting for Puffy to make a statement for the longest. I have been waiting for him, and he finally. He said he was having a hard time with it. He had to try to wrap his head around it. When he accepted,
because he lost Kim, last year?
Yeah, but real close. It ain't been that many months.
That's what I'm saying. So he lost Kim last year, and then to lose Andre now, hell, I mean, no matter what type of relationship they had at the time, he lost two people who probably meant the most to him other than his kids.
Well, when he accepted the Icon Award, he said that
he was like his dad, right?
Yeah, he said, I'm gonna admit this to you right now. I lost my dad when I was, 3, 4, 5 years old, something like that. And for the last 30 years, you've been my dad. So I know it was devastating for him.
How many great artists that we've lost. And then I'm just,
oh my God, Little Richard.
Little Richard. And then I'm like, do we do enough to acknowledge our artists while they're here?
Well,
or
now
is it
that is really going to be a serious thing with Little Richard, because as he called himself, in which he was the
architect.
The innovator. He was the architect, the innovator. So he's expecting he's really expecting how people felt about Kobe, but he'll take how people are mourning over Prince. but I don't think
You don't think he's
it's
going
gonna
to
get any of that.
it?
Shit, I don't think James Brown got what he's supposed to get.
He didn't.
He didn't. I wonder why.
Because a lot of young people don't know about the pioneers. And
Recent understanding, yeah.
So
You know,
how do you think so what's going to happen with, them being able to have a proper service or a memorial or something?
Oh no,
Well, the service is gonna be off chain.
Yeah.
You think they're going to be able to have a normal one? What?
Yeah, it's gonna be a nice. Little Richard service is gonna be nice.
Really?
All the
Oh, yeah.
funerals are nice.
How's all that going to happen
just-
with us still under lockdown?
Oh, you talking about is
I'm
it
saying,
going
how
to
is all
be?
that going to happen in what we've got going on right
Yeah.
now
Well,
with both of them?
yeah. Okay, I give you that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Will they get
When
their
we get-
full justice?
Yeah. When we get around to the memorial time, that's when everything gonna crack.
The only thing that can happen is this.
Just get him in the ground.
Best they could do. All the people do it in his hometown, so the hometown people will go to the funeral, and then film and then televise it, and then everybody can be a part of it. That would be about as close that they can get, because I don't think it's going to be a lot of people flying to go to the funeral.
Well, I'm talking about both of them. Are you talking about both or just Little Richard?
Andre Harrell's funeral is going to be bigger than Little Richard's. Why?
No, but I'm
'Cause-
kind of hearing there's
'cause he's
conversation
current.
that they can't do what they
Because
what they wanna do.
he's a lot more current, and Andre Harrell, a lot of the millennials might not know him from Uptown, but they know him as a music mogul in some form of fashion because he was still in the game. As I told you, he was helping Puffy with his cable station.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, my man was still in the game doing his thing. Like he was still doing it. Hey, look, my man was a genius in the sense of he took the roundaway person, the kid that was dreaming to be a Motown, Aretha Franklin, and let them be that.
Right.
He didn't overdress them. He brought the talent really next door to you. Like Jodeci looked like, more on the East Coast side, but they look like the dudes next door. Mary J. Blige looked like your homegirl. He brought your next door neighbor who could blow, who could dance. He brought that person to your television. Basically. Look, Mary J. Blige is a true prime example that what God got for you, no man can take it from you.
That's true.
She is a pure example of that because she had so many, as you to say, she had the devil in her way so many times and obstacles that she had to climb over to even keep the respect that she has. Like a whole lot of people, careers have folded for less. And Mary made it through it all. And still climbing through. But she made it through it all, man. And right now, I'm gonna be honest with you, Mary's shining like a diamond. You know what I mean? That I don't know emotionally how jagged it made her, or how much rough it made her, or what it did to her. But I'm saying, looking at Mary now, Mary looked better now than she did then. Or maybe Mary looked the same. I just can appreciate her more now because I see what she's been through.
No, she got money.
No,
she
she
looked
looks
better.
better.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying.
And a
Yeah,
good
she
one.
got money. She looked better.
Jodeci, Country Boys. I work with Casey and JoJo. I did their reality show, their reality show performance. I did rehearsal with them and I did background for them. And those cats coming from the country, I truly believe that what kept them balanced is that they came from a foundation of believing in God, and whenever they got too far out, whenever they lost control, when they couldn't believe in nobody else, they could believe that if they had faith that they could be brought out of this, they could survive it, they could overcome it. And so I think that's the reason why they're standing today in front of us, and which is probably the reason why a whole lot of us are. But I'm just saying, on their end of it, they went through a lot. I mean, on Uptown, what the smoothest polished artists that looked like they were smooth and polished was Heavy D.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be sure wasn't really on Uptown, was he? No, he was Warner Brothers. He was Uptown affiliated because he was producing. He
True.
wrote stuff for Jodeci and Mary J. And but he was a Warner Brothers star.
I think it was a Warner Brothers artist.
But Christopher Williams was Uptown.
Mm-hmm.
Polished cat. He's a polished cat. Father MC. Polished cat. The original Uptown artist. What was the original? Who was the first artist on Uptown that y'all can remember? I know him too.
First one that I can remember.
I don't know.
Jeff Red.
Okay. Yeah, I knew it was somebody
Jeff
obscure.
Red was the first artist on Uptown that had broke out. And he was also a writer and producer. So he wrote a lot of that stuff for those different artists too.
His name was on the tip of my tongue.
Jeff Red. I can see it. I can see that. Jeff Red was kicking it real tough in LA for a good couple of years, and we had gotten cool during that time. But yeah, Jeff Red was definitely first artist, and it was all that, that was Kyle West, and I'll be sure, and the producer. What about Betty Wright?
No.
But Betty Wright, she was sick for a long time.
Yeah, but the
She's been
weekend
sick
was
a long
full,
time,
though.
and then they did the
Unsung.
Unsung,
Like just a couple weeks, like a month ago,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, she's been sick a long time. Everybody wondered where Betty Wright went. Betty Wright didn't go anywhere. She toured a lot with Roger and Zapp. She married one of the, everybody would always say a brother or something. It wasn't a brother. It was a member of the group that was considered a brother. I mean, basically considered a brother. He's still touring with him today. But yeah, that's what she was doing. So she was making her money.
Well, I hope we
definitely
get a
making
break from losing anyone for a while.
Yeah, with the knowns and the just the regular people and
Just
day to
in
day life.
general. Yeah, it's getting a little heavy.
I just
Yeah.
think, well, because I think right now is because death is a focus that we lose people all the time. It's just right now because death is a focus, because death is so, it's the headlining act for the last few years that we're just paying attention to it now. Like we like paying attention. You know for a fact that death is always rolling, because when they do the awards and they always talk and they do that who died this year,
Mhm.
you're always, man, I didn't know he was dead.
Yeah.
Oh
But
man,
sometimes it's longer than others.
Man.
All those people died. Yeah.
You be like, and they died because it's always got to be that year. They died in that year.
Yeah.
And you be like, I didn't even know he died. You know,
Yeah, some of them do sneak up on you.
Look, the one thing that's going to happen, no doubt about it, is that you're gonna leave this earth one day. That's not the fight. The fight is, and what we're fighting on is when we're leaving. Well, I don't want to leave right now because I ain't finished. You know what I'm saying? Look, it's just as many people that's wishing to live as there's people wishing I wake up every morning, I'm still in this mother.
Hey.
They get to a certain age and they can't do the stuff they used to do. Not me either. They can't do what they used to do. You know, even when my mother got, God rest her soul, and she's 90 years old. You know, I didn't know when she was going, but I knew it was coming because she always said that her prayer was for God to take her when she could not do for herself anymore. And it was very, say fully close to that point. Like, and I knew that she was going to will herself up out of here because she always been a strong, do-it-yourself woman. And I knew when she got to the point where he had to ask about everything, and she felt like, as she say, y'all the parents, and now I'm the child. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was on her way on out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, good night.
It's been fun, but I gotta go.
But this has been a wonderful, wonderful show.
Wait a minute, do that again.
This has been a wonderful show. And like always, my cohorts, Maria, and Big Dave. And what did we say? D Green's in Venezuela?
Yeah.
It's one of those.
I think he's back in witness protection. But you know.
But you can always reach out to us. You can always get to us at Out of the Blue. Matter of fact, all of our names, Maria at outoftheblue.com, Big Dave at outoftheblue.com, Blue Mitchell, baby, not the baby part, at outoftheblue.com, and Danny Green at outoftheblue.com will be our email address. Our page, our own page. Now we're still doing things with Rollout Digital because that's our hometown. But you can also go to our page, which is Out of the Blue Radio, and you can watch our shows also. Hey, this has been a pleasure. I'm signing out, and don't forget, watch our man Richard Brooks in Bosch, which is the newest thing that he's doing. Man, you'll have an incredible time. And look, go to his page. My man be blowing, you know what I'm saying? And it's so funny because when he's doing his, when he's singing on there doing his songs, it's really theatrical. Like he won't look into the camera. and he's singing like the camera's not there. So once again, Out of the Blue on Rollout Digital. We see you next Thursday. It's always a pleasure. And we want to say good night and always believe in yourself because ain't nobody else going to.
You're listening to Out of the Blue, starring Blue Mitchell, Maria,
Hey, it's your girl, Maria.
and your boy Danny Green. Out of the blue, y'all, where anything might come out of our mouth.